There we go. I think I'm on cam now. How we doing? Just checking. We were doing a few things behind the scenes. Okay, I think we're good to go. How y'all doing? I think we turned my camera off on accident there for a second. We're live, friends. Rusty McCranie with you here, 4:21 on this Tuesday afternoon. Keeping a close eye on this active weather across Central Florida for today. Just like we had yesterday, these storms are getting on the rowdier side, so wanted to pop on, cover these for you. They're clustered again, mainly across Metro Orlando, and we'll be watching these storms march off towards the east. The biggest thing is that these storms are going to be noisy. They are producing an excessive amount of lightning. So let's get into several special weather statements that we have. No severe thunderstorm warnings at the hour. But I want you to notice the amount of lightning. This is the story. I have cranked this all the way down now to show every lightning strike because the storms yesterday were so prolific in lightning. They were some of the most intense lightning storms I can remember in quite some time. And I want you guys to see all of the lightning on the northern side of Oviedo here, okay? Right across 46 towards the airport. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put on, we'll look at a couple different things. I'm gonna put on the wind gusts as well. Nothing outrageous out of the Sanford airport, but friends, look at all of this lightning. This is gonna be an issue. Again, lightning is not a criteria for severe thunderstorm warnings, okay? It's winds and it's hail size, 60-mile-an-hour winds and or inch-size hail. The amount of rain and the number of lightning strikes has no criteria, nothing to do with severe thunderstorm warnings. So we can get a super intense storm as far as lightning goes, but it's never gonna be a severe thunderstorm warning. But that being said, you don't want to be outside in this. So we have a very large special weather statement that goes all the way up towards the Deltona area and then through a lot of Seminole County, including Sanford and the Oviedo areas. South of that, we have many more special weather statements. One that encompasses the downtown Orlando area, another that has just been extended off towards the east that includes places like Bithlo and Wedgefield. So they both go for the next 21 minutes until 4:45. Main threats again are going to be some winds of 40 miles an hour, but the lightning is going to be a big factor here. And again, we're coming up on the beginning of rush hour. It's not going to be fun to want to be driving in this again. So just got to watch out for this. Going to be some heavy rain. The lightning again is going to be quite intense in some spots. Here towards the Bithlo area, there's one of the areas, Avalon Park. Could there be some pea-sized hail in this as well? I think it's possible. Now there's some gusty winds. There's MCO with a 37-mile-an-hour wind gust. And again, Lake Nona on over towards Medical City. Good, healthy, heavy rain there right across the beach line. And a lot of lightning to come along with it. Another special weather statement is now up for the far southwest sides of Orange County and the northwest sides of Osceola County. So on this one, we've had a 32-mile-an-hour wind in Kissimmee lately. And again, gusty conditions there. And then we have a lot of lightning as you get back up towards Lake Buena Vista and the Dr. Phillips area. So again, all of these are special weather statements. They're not severe thunderstorm warnings, but I got to tell you something. The lightning is going to be uber intense, and this is trying to march off towards the east today. This is going to try and make the East Coast before it's all said and done. Now back over the Lake Buena Vista area right now, you can see some of the heavier rain there. You can see the lightning strikes, 33 in just the last 15 minutes. We actually have a live cam for you right now. This is going to be from the Disney area. We are looking south into the west for you right now, just 1 mile from the Magic Kingdom and Disney. So again, live camera here at Central Florida Weather Live. First of all, you can just see that wind is blowing pretty good. If you just look at the sheets of rain coming in right now, you can see the trees are getting going a little bit. All of those trash cans are going to be filled with water, going to be having to dump those. You can see the park across the street. This is a very common sight right now across Central Florida. Just some wet, squally weather, a lot of lightning as well. So this is one of the new features that we're bringing here to Central Florida Weather Live. We're going to have more and more live cameras across Central Florida that we'll be able to show you to track these storms in real time. But again, this view is from just away from Disney, just 1 mile as we look to the south and to the west. Okay, back over to the radar. I'm going to go back over to the wide perspective. Let's kind of take a look at what's happening here. First of all, our friends along the west coast, it's going to be a quieter day. So for Hillsborough and Pinellas and Hernando and Pasco and Citrus counties up towards Levy County, western sides of Marion County, we're fine. There's a little bit of light rain left over, portions of Sumter and Lake, even a couple of lightning strikes, but it's more just that kind of overshooting top rain where it takes a while to finally fade, right? The massive weather is to your east, but we've just going to continue to see some lighter showers for the Villages and Fruitland Park and Umatilla as well. We do have a heftier storm up here. And again, this is going to be like kind of the far eastern and southeastern sides of Alachua, kind of sneaking into Putnam counties as well, and then even north of Flagler. But I'll be watching that one. First of all, again, just a tremendous amount of lightning here, right? Just east of Interlochen, 130 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. So for places like Marineland and Palm Coast, if this storm can hold together, might be trying to get your way in a little bit here. And again, for the entire East Coast, there's a little bit more rain today, but you notice that this special weather statement is beginning to even butt up to the southern sides of Volusia County. And the amount of lightning, again, just such, sorry about that, such a huge amount of lightning here in this area just north of Oviedo, right? Extremely, extremely. So here's Oviedo, just up 46 there as well. So relatively rural area, although we do have a community right there. It's north of Chuliota. And as a matter of fact, as I'm speaking, they've just turned this into a severe thunderstorm warning. So here we go. So on this eastern side, as it's lining up, we now have ourselves a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, these storms are intensifying. They're getting a little bit better organized right now, and they're going to be marching off towards the east. So again, the easiest thing to do here real quickly is drop the special weather statements just so we can look at this new severe thunderstorm warning. And again, this one has just been issued for 60-mile-an-hour winds and some inch-sized hail. So this particular cell has both of the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to include places like Chuliota, far on the western side, UCF, but again, everything's moving east, right? So it'll get better in University Park and UCF soon. Bithlo right in the heart of it. Same thing for Avalon Park. On over towards Wedgefield there, the split between the 520 and 50. That is some very heavy rain that's nasty. That's probably a little bit of hail there as well. That's probably one reason why they hoisted the severe thunderstorm warning, is because we're going to have some pockets of some hail out of this as well. Back down towards Wedgefield, kind of on the eastern side here. So you've got Lake Nona, and then you've got the Narcoossee area, and it's just east of Lake Nona, but kind of east of 417, south of the beach line. In that area there, Lake Mary Jane, Narcoossee, severe thunderstorm warning for you guys, okay? So let me pop on this severe thunderstorm warning. And once again, my system is ahead of the websites, which is just fine. But we'll pick up the rest of the information. But look, it goes for the next 30 minutes. It goes to the top of the hour. All the information is currently on your screen. And again, additional storms are back out here, and these will be deserved watching as well. The Hamlin area, that's kind of the south side of Winter Garden, Lake Buena Vista, into Kissimmee. But if you live in Brevard County, Mims, Titusville, Indian River City, Port St. John, look at all this lightning down here as well. This is going to be the story, guys. These are going to be extremely hot storms when it comes to the lightning, all right? You see the outflow boundary down there as well. Let's take a look at the movement of the storms over the last half hour. Decent movement for today, but the lightning is tremendous in this view. You can see that lightning count going up to over 900 strikes in just the last 15 minutes. And you can see some of the old outflows. You can clearly see, watch this outflow right here spark up all of those storms in the northern side of Osceola County. This is the interesting part about summertime in Florida, man. These storms hitting these old outflow boundaries. And by the way, too, you want to talk about heat. Let me put on, first of all, we can see the gusty winds there, but let me put on the heat index, okay? This is the kind of heat that these storms are about ready to hit. Port St. John's feels like temperature is 107. The Capes feels like temperature is 105. Cocoa Beaches feels like temperature is 105. There's a ton of heat energy that these storms will be tapping into as they get off towards the east. So they could stay very rowdy as they get into Brevard County here as we hit past the 5 o'clock hour. So it's been hot, it's been humid, the storms have been firing up. Again, these are your feels like temperatures. If we look at actual air temperatures, they're going to be, again, yeah, some mid 90s. There's Port St. John. Feels like it's 95 right now. Titusville feels like it's about 91. And obviously you've got then all the rain cooled air here with lighter showers, Daytona Beach and Ormond Beach. But again, at the hour, severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect. And again, let's see here. There we go. It finally popped up this way. Until 5 o'clock, it includes southeast Seminole, but mainly southeast Orange. Moving off towards the southeast at just about 5 miles an hour. So not a ton of forward speed with this one. Again, two cells have merged. We can see that. 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Hail damage is possible, okay? When we get to quarter-sized hail, that is big enough hail to cause damage to vehicles, potentially to roofs and to siding as well, especially if it goes in accordance with the 60-mile-an-hour wind. So this is a pretty darn strong storm. And if you live in these areas and you have an opportunity to get the car inside the garage, I would be doing that. Now, obviously, you don't want to be getting out in this lightning, okay? So if it's already in your area, you've just got to kind of deal with it. If you live east of here, across I-95 in Brevard County, and you have an opportunity to maybe get that car underneath some shelter, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But the lightning is absolutely ridiculous with these storms right now. Again, good to see you here. Rusty McCranie, Central Florida Weather Live. We're live at 4:33 on this Tuesday afternoon. Storms are getting cranked up across the interior sections of Central Florida, especially over the Orlando area. They're moving off towards the east right now. We've had numerous special weather statements. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Let's check in with our camera. This is going to be at the Disney World area, just to the south. It should be just to the, it's a mile from Disney. We're looking south and west. I honestly don't know what direction it is from Disney, but it's close. This is a very common sight again. Now, the winds have died down a little bit in this area, and in general, I think we're going to get some additional rain and a little bit of lightning towards the Disney area, but for the attractions, the worst of it has been moved off towards the east. There could still be a redevelopment of a shower or storm, but again, you don't want to be very cautious in the attractions area here for a time, but I think the healthiest storms are going to be firing and moving off towards the east as we go. But again, this is a live camera from the Disney World area, and we're going to have plenty of more of those to show you here at Central Florida Weather Live. We're going to have a network of cameras. We're starting that process right now. So great to show you that live shot. We'll check in with that one from time to time. So back over to, again, what's happening right now. And just to kind of wrap up from that camera, you can see here is the Lake Buena Vista area. Again, there's some lightning. There's some heavier rain for Windermere, Lake Butler, back down towards I-Drive. Still a special weather statement in effect as well. But then that's all moving off towards the east. All right, so let me just do something again real quick. I just want to reset this view. And then we'll get in here. Because again, I want to look at these storms. So first of all, we have the severe thunderstorm warning. This is the very intense part right now. Goes for the next 25 minutes, so for the top of the hour. But the lightning, friends, the lightning, let me just zoom out again real quick. Look at the lightning. Over 900 lightning strikes. Western side of Orange County got hammered yesterday with this kind of lightning. Now these old outflow boundaries have pushed a little bit farther to the east, and now these storms are developing just east of where they were yesterday, but the lightning count is just as extreme. Again, there's no severe thunderstorm criteria with lightning strikes, okay? Doesn't matter how many that you have. The only criteria are winds 60 miles an hour or more, or hail an inch in a size or more. And that's what we have here. Both criteria, 60 mile an hour winds, inch-sized hail. Again, movement is kind of slowly south and east. So let's get into these areas. Heavy rain and storms over Chuliota. Look, this is going to knock out some power from time to time. All right, there's just so much lightning, especially if you live in an area with above ground power poles. When you have this many lightning strikes, it's almost like shooting fish in a barrel, if you will. You know, all that lightning has a pretty good chance of hitting something that's electrified and causing at least some, you know, power outages, at least in some neighborhoods. We see it all the time here in Central Florida. Again, this is all moving off towards the east, so it will get better in UCF, in University Park, already getting better in Alafaya. Avalon Park is still in it, but not going to be for as long. And then Bithlo, Wedgefield, and areas off towards the east, okay? Again, it's 95 degrees right now in the Port St. John, Titusville area. A feels like temperature of 107. There is plenty of heat energy for these storms to continue to propagate off towards the east and stay at a relatively intense level. So, you know, Titusville and Indian River City and Port St. John and Sharps and Cocoa all need to be aware. Even outside of the severe thunderstorm warning, this is in a rural area, but again, you can just see all of the lightning. The radar is picking up right now, high DBZ value, meaning very heavy rain, and a good opportunity there. Notice the storm speed is 2 miles an hour. Again, these storms are basically just developing. Now, I mentioned this particular area just a second before. This is a new special weather statement. Again, an old outflow boundary has prompted these storms to line up in northern Osceola County like that. I mean, you snapped your finger. Watch this when I put this into motion here. These storms, now again, that's just over the last 30 minutes, but these storms really came up in a hurry, man. They really got going. It's very clear to see that outflow boundary push off to the east, and right behind it, the storms right over the St. Cloud area. So again, special weather statement in here, that's going to be for 40-mile-an-hour winds and some quarter-inch sized hail. So over Lake East Lake Toho, the St. Cloud area, very heavy rain, 192. It's kind of elongated north to south. It's brushing the turnpike, that's 91 on your screen. But if you live in places like Harmony and Holopal, this will be coming across your area. Again, a fair amount of lightning here. These storms are not as significant to the north, but that's why it's a special weather statement rather than an actual severe thunderstorm warning. Good rain and storms towards Lake Wells, south of course, the I-4 corridor there, but you know, those are some relatively intense storms all the way down there. And that special weather statement does again extend pretty far to the south and to the west. And look at all of that heat. It again feels like temperatures across Brevard County right now, well above 100. Extremely, extremely steamy. It's even getting more intense up here. So I'm going to be curious what the Weather Service wants to do here. Across 46, east of Oviedo, east of Sanford. Again, relatively rural area as you get into the far, far eastern and northeast sides of Seminole, the far southwest sides of Volusia County. But eventually, this is going to get back to places like Oak Hill, so I have to keep an eye out for that. And then the rain's just going to be more light and widespread for Ormond Beach, Daytona, and Port Orange there. So again, friends, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done that favor for me yet, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, and if for some reason you're not a subscriber yet to Central Florida Weather Live, thank you for hitting that subscribe button for me right now. If you have a specific question about the forecast, please feel free to drop it down in the comments section below. And again, just here, hanging out with you guys, keeping a track of these storms. And again, pretty nasty storm there on the eastern side of Orange County. I think that one's going to be one to watch for a little while here. I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon. We'll take a look at the winds here out of the terminal Doppler as well. But you can see all the clusters here. And again, areas north and west, we're doing okay. The computer doesn't like all the layers I have on right now. That's fine. Again, well, let's see here. This should go away in a second. Even, there we go. That pops up from time to time, but it's never really an issue. All right, so again, we are getting better right now in downtown Orlando, okay? So I do expect this special weather statement for Altamont Springs and Maitland and downtown and Conway and Oak Ridge and Metro West and Pine Hills. That should go away, okay? Shouldn't expect a reissuance of that one. There's still some pretty good storms here and some storm activity from Winter Garden towards Windermere and Hamlin and Lake Butler, back down towards Lake Buena Vista and Western Way. And then again, you follow that towards Hunters Creek. And that special weather statement does include Kissimmee, okay? That one will probably hold on, and certainly this one. And you can just see that this whole line right here is getting beefier. It is getting beefier indeed. Let's go over to the composite here. I'm going to dump the radar real fast. And let me put the composite into motion I think the last 2 hours is a good idea. So if you're just tuning in, this is the evolution of the storms here over the last 2 hours. They were fairly numerous pretty early in the afternoon in our western zone, Sumter and Lake and Polk counties, the eastern sides of Citrus and Hernando and Pasco, but they've really blossomed here late in the day, the heat of the day, the old outflow boundaries from the very intense storms yesterday as well. And again, the lightning count is crazy. Now, I have taken off the filter because the lightning is such a huge story. I mean, electrified storms yesterday, electrified storms again this afternoon. Once again, friends, if you're here, you want to drop a comment below, I'd appreciate it. Helps out the channel just to say hi, if nothing else. Again, part of the reason why I'm doing this is the interactivity. Love to hear from you guys if you have that opportunity. And again, special weather statements continue for these areas. Let's reset this one more time real quick. Actually, you know what? That's not going to come back on, so because I still have it on loopy mode. Oh, there we go. So we'll take a look, again, the severe thunderstorm warning to the top of the hour. And then the special weather statements are here. So let's take a look at those. And they did issue a new special weather statement for this area, which I expected they would. Thought they might even make it a severe thunderstorm warning, to be quite honest. But 40 and quarter-inch size hail, far eastern sides of Seminole, southwest sides of Volusia County. This one in downtown Orlando should be allowed to expire. That is, again, part of the severe thunderstorm warning. Special weather statement then now includes a good chunk here and a very interesting feature down here. And then we have this special weather statement that includes portions of southwest Orange and northwest sides of Osceola County. Ed, how you doing? The typical summer pattern is rain this time. Is it now severe? There is a severe thunderstorm warning, yes, Ed, located right here. Now, I believe, Ed, you said you were in Winter Garden, which got hammered yesterday. It's going to be more, the rain is not going to be as prominent, or the storms are not going to be as prominent in the western side of Orange County. The atmosphere is raked there, especially from yesterday's storms. And we had some healthy storms on the western side of the county today, but nothing like they're seeing on the east side. So basically, the intensity of the storms on the western side of the county yesterday have transferred east with the old outflow boundaries pushing east, and new storms are developing here. But the lightning, again, continues to be a significant thing. It's nearly 600 lightning strikes in just this view in the last 15 minutes. I mean, even down on the edge of this, towards Lake Nona and Narcoossee, 200 lightning strikes right over this neighborhood. That is really, really intense. It's noisy. The cats, the dogs, no one likes it, that's for sure. And then this goes down towards the St. Cloud area. So again, Harmony and Holopole will end up seeing some stuff. I want to bring on here the velocity. Almost like a little appendage there, but again, not really seeing any twist or anything like that. There is a little bit of fresher wind right over Harmony right now. We can query that. And here's some 35, 40 mile an hour storm, or 40 mile an hour winds right now, right across 192. So that's pretty significant. And again, here, you're going to see on the leading edge, see these winds here out of Wedgefield, 40, 45. Could even be more significant. It's always, in this environment, when these storms line up like this, it's always going to be the leading edge with more than likely the heaviest wind. But from the 528 to Colonial 50, it's a lot of wind. And again, this is going to start getting into the I-95 corridor of northern sides of Brevard County here shortly. The storm's not moving quickly, but it is progressing east and building east more than anything. Let's look at hail size. See what we got here. So again, no severe thunderstorm warning with this one, just north of 46, but hail size could be in that nickel size or even slightly higher as well. Okay. Then in the severe thunderstorm warning, it is over places like Wedgefield. There's an opportunity here over Wedgefield that we've had at least some penny-sized hail. It's a possibility. Maybe pea to penny, nothing more than that. Pea to penny. Pea to penny. There's the 520. There's the beach line. But Wedgefield, again, if you know anyone who lives in that area, It's an intense storm, and they might have seen some hail as well. Again, just, boy, and hopefully we're lucky here to avoid this hail in any neighborhoods. But that's some decent sized hail possibility just east of Medical City, Lake Nona, Narcoossee area, just east of 417, right on the southwest edge. Is there any other hail to watch out for? Doesn't really look like it. Maybe a little bit here south of Harmony. That's a very rural area of Osceola County. Okay, let's get back over to the reflectivity. It's a nasty storm. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning goes for the next 13 minutes till the top of the hour, and then we'll see what the Weather Service wants to do from there. They have shaved it a little bit. Notice that the shape is a little bit different, and my computer could pick up on this. So again, earlier, this storm was impacting UCF and University Park and Althea and Avalon Park. Well, now it's progressed far enough off towards the east, where those areas are out of it. Still a lot of heavy rain and lightning there, but we're not seeing any severe thunderstorm criteria at this point in time. There's a bit of a lull in the action as we hit the 5 o'clock hour here in the next few minutes for downtown Orlando, which is great news, obviously, for the drive home. That being said, will there be additional storms coming in? It's a possibility. Again, the atmosphere is a bit raked from yesterday, so I don't expect the storms, even if they refire across I-4 in Orange and Seminole counties, to be as strong as what they were yesterday. But we're still holding on to some rain right now and a few lightning strikes. Again, from Winter Garden, 50, Turnpike, 429, where those all interchange in that area. Gotha, Windermere, Lake Butler, Dr. Phillips, Lake Buena Vista does look better. Let's check in with our camera again. And again, this is just 1 mile from Disney World. Yesterday, this camera would have been rocking and rolling. Today, it's a little bit quieter. Now, earlier when I first came on, there was still a good storm over this area, but things have gotten quieter there as well. Ed says, yes, it did. I meant all these storms going to become common now. This seems unusual. Well, listen, having grown up in Florida, and maybe Ed, you've lived here for a while as well, it really is just dependent on the localized pattern. These storms the last few days have been quite intense, but relatively speaking, the sea breeze has not been extremely active as of yet. I think we're just starting to get into that right now. But obviously, when we heat up land quicker, right, and we have, hotter air temperatures, there's just more latent heat energy to use, and these storms can be nastier. Now, again, part of this is going to be where these develop off of old outflow boundaries, so what you had yesterday comes into accordance with as well. But, from time to time, we're going to get these storms to have this kind of lightning. Now, I don't expect this to be very common. That being said, the pattern that we're in right now is just really producing a lot of lightning. This is the very interesting thing and hard thing to talk about or forecast when you're dealing with sea breeze storms here in Central Florida. A lot of this is also old outflow boundaries. So what we'll be monitoring is how far east these storms go today, right? And if these storms push offshore, then more than likely the old outflow boundaries go along with them. And then what might develop off of them for tomorrow, right? Everything progressed a little bit farther east today. West Coast sea breeze was a little bit stronger. Let's look at the winds, as a matter of fact. Bring those on. It's been nice and gusty, 20, 25, good fresh breeze. Look, even Zephyr Hills had a 33-mile-an-hour wind lately. Nothing yet in Titusville, Indian River City, Port St. John. They would only be reporting a wind right now if they had a gust, but they have not. But the Executive Airport, 28, MCO in at 22. All right, so again, these storms are marching off towards the east. So if you live in northern sides of Brevard County, and they're creeping in. We're not that far away right now, as a matter of fact. We're, getting within less than 10 miles here. So Titusville, Indian River City, about ready to get hit pretty hard. Port St. John, Sharps, Cocoa, Rockledge, maybe even as far south as Merritt Island. There's Vieira. There's the Sun Tree area. The storms are kind of developing out ahead of it there towards Holopal and Harmony. Again, a very interesting appendage here. I don't see any actual rotation out of that. But this is where we have the most numerous storms. Now, again, that is just the severe thunderstorm warnings. If I add on the special weather statements as well, might have lost those real quick. All right, give me just 1 second. Again, every so often here, just have to reset this thing. There we go. So as I expected, they dumped the special weather statements for downtown Orlando and the southwest sides of Orange County. This is all going to end up lining up and then marching towards southern sides of Volusia and into Brevard. So the good news is, for Orlando, we'll have some leftover rain. It might take some time to actually completely wind down. It might even be after sunset for all of this light overshooting rain from the overshooting cloud tops here, as those storms mushroomed up and expanded out to finally fall, because this is very high in the atmosphere. It's very light shower activity. And this extends all the way up towards De Leon Springs and Pearson and Ormond Beach. But now it's all about this line right here as far as the really active weather. Again, special weather statement here. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at a couple of the different ones here. So this particular one goes until 5 o'clock, obviously the next 8 minutes. It was for Eastern Seminole, Northwest Brevard, Southeast Volusia, including the Chuleota area, as we've already mentioned. It's moving off towards the southeast at 10, 40 mile an hour winds and some pea-sized hail. And the lightning. Again, the lightning is not a criteria in severe thunderstorm warnings, but 200 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. It's still pretty nasty in Chuleota, although technically right now they're not under either a special weather statement or a severe thunderstorm warning. But that severe thunderstorm warning, again, is over the eastern sides of Orange County, including the Bithlo area towards Avalon Park, just east of there. 50 ton of heavy rain and lightning. Again, 145 lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes. Wedgefield included, we looked at it earlier. The possibility that Wedgefield had at least some pea or penny-sized hail move right across the community there not that long ago. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning bracketed with some special weather statements. This particular one, let's see here, is going to be, yeah, that one is going to be until, let's see, 5:30, so not that one. It should be this one down here. Till through 5:30. Okay. I don't see one. They might have reduced the time or even dropped that one, because 21 minutes is not 5:30. All right. And then is it way? It might be way down here. Yeah, there we go. There's your 5:30 one. Sorry, I didn't even realize that they had done this. They had gone. So you can see what's happening here, guys. This is where we're going to have all the action. These storms are beginning to propagate south. You can see the outflow boundary right here. And what has happened is, as the outflow boundary has moved east, the storms have developed behind it. Okay, so the outflow boundary right now is moving through Harmony and Holopole, and the storms are more numerous. Now, this special weather statement will continue. They will up it again. There's no way, as a really intense storm. So that'll expire in 5 minutes, but it's going to be reissued. Maybe even a severe thunderstorm warning. It's probably close. Again, Harmony, St. Cloud, Holopole, a lot of heavy rain and lightning coming your way. Up to 192, and again, moving off towards the east. Still gets a little bit more intense. You get a little bit farther north. Again, severe thunderstorm warning next 5 minutes. We'll see if that holds on. We'll see if they'll reissue it. If they do, whatever they're going to issue is going to start to impact Brevard and the southern sides of Volusia. And even this special weather statement has now slipped east of the I-95 corridor. So that's where we're going to have the most action, guys. And again, there's plenty of heat energy here. That's the gusts. And we have a new special weather statement, special marine warning that just came on. Look, they're already anticipating it. And what they typically do, by the way, with special marine warnings is they issue them very early, because they want boaters to be aware of what's coming. They don't want these storms to be right on top of the boaters before their hopeful weather radios or their marine radios go off and let them know about this special marine warning. You know, the ways that they can keep track with the weather. They want them to be able to have an opportunity to get back into port. So they have already, even though there's no special weather statements or severe thunderstorm warnings that are in this area as of yet, they've already bracketed off the coastal waters of Brevard County for the special marine warning. Notice it goes for 2 hours, so all the way until 7 o'clock. So again, that's the Weather Service trying to give these areas a heads up. And of course, as we anticipated, we are getting additional special weather statements to now move off towards the east. What's interesting is that this does encompass the northern side of the severe thunderstorm warning. So I'll be curious whether they're going to reissue any of the area for a severe thunderstorm warning or now replace it with a special weather statement because they think that the intensity of the winds and the hail have come down. Again, regardless, the lightning is going to be prolific. That's not a criteria for severe thunderstorm warnings. It could be the most intense lightning that you've ever seen. And the western sides of Orange County had some really nasty lightning yesterday, and there was no severe thunderstorm warning. It was just special weather statements because lightning is not a criteria. Back over to the weather chat. How you doing? Okay, hi Linda. How you doing there? Yes, it is coming your way, Linda. You just got the warning. Good. First of all, I'm really glad that you have that. Now, again, Linda, for you, at least at this point in time, it's a special weather statement, okay? That again, is one rung lower than a severe thunderstorm warning. But obviously, you've been listening for a little bit here because I was looking at a couple of other things on my tablet. But again, the lightning, man, oh man, the lightning. If this storm holds together, it's going to be noisy. There's a lot of lightning with these storms. And again, it's not a criteria for severe thunderstorm warnings, okay? Special weather statement here. We'll see if they reissue that. It's faded a bit, but there's still a lot of lightning up here, man. Southwest Volusia, there's still a lot. 260 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. A ton of lightning there. And again, this is now Brevard County's problem, to be quite honest, and even down into Indian River County. And you can see the Weather Service just keeps going farther and farther down, all the way down to Yeehaw Junction now. So this is going to include all of Indian River County eventually too. And again, the numbers that you see, that's the heat index. And I just put it on there because Linda will tell you in Titusville, just like it was across all of Central Florida, it was an extremely hot day. The temperature in Port St. John area has actually dropped down. And of course, this includes Titusville as well. It's TIX, so it's the official Titusville one, but it actually dropped 5 degrees already here. Just a few minutes ago, it was 95. The last report 11 minutes ago at 4:47 is down to 90, okay? So here we go. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning expires in 1 minute. It looks like it has been replaced with a special weather statement that's good as far as wind and hail potential. But again, it has nothing to do with the lightning that's going to be coming along with the ride as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in here at 5 o'clock. Again, let's just reset the scene. First of all, if you're here, if you want to do me a very small favor, a very small payback, and hit that like button right now, I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel more than I think you know. If you're not a subscriber to Central Florida Weather Live, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for all those who have supported. Again, we're live here at 5 o'clock. And again, at this point in time, it does look like the severe thunderstorm warning has gone away. But these are going to be really rowdy storms. Now, from the I-4 corridor west, we'll still have some rain, we'll still have some lightning, but the atmosphere overall is relatively raked, okay? So I don't expect this area to pulse back up with anything heavier, but you'll still hear some thunder. It's not like we're completely devoid of any of that, okay? But we've pushed all of the most active weather off towards the east, and you can see all of that lining up right now, okay? So again, we lost the special weather statement towards Oak Hill, but lightning is not a criteria. And again, if I just zoom out real quickly here, we've got almost 1,300 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes in this view. And it's really, really confined to a pretty small spot. Pretty nasty. They're firing off new special weather statements all the time. Again, for boaters in Brevard County, special marine warning is in effect. They do this way ahead of the storms to give the boaters a time to come back into port. but it is for these storms. And again, this special marine warning goes a lot longer in nature as well, 420 minutes. So that means until 7 o'clock. So it's starting to creep in towards Mims, Titusville, Indian River City. Again, the first thing our area across I-95 is going to get is some pretty gusty winds. All right, those winds are going to be whipped up on the leading edge. We can take a look at the winds here real quickly as well. Let's switch over to the velocity product. Here you go. So if we take a look at this is from the Melbourne radar, so not far away. Now again, is this going to be world-beating wind? No. Fresh winds, maybe 25 to 30. It's a possibility. And again, the special weather statement calls for winds of up to 40. And there is some near 40-mile-an-hour winds here. Look, this is right on 50 towards Indian River City. We're not shooting that high from the Melbourne radar. These are relatively ground truth winds. And you can see I'm picking up 30 to 35. Towards Mims, not as much. That's good. Towards Titusville, you know, there's a 34, 35 right there. So we'll see. But on the leading edge, before the heavy rain and the lightning comes in, it's wind first. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 punch. It's winds first for Titusville, Mims, Indian River City, basically all of our county. Then the heavy rain really sets in, and then behind it, not long behind it, but behind it comes the core of the most intense lightning. So these winds are beginning to butt up I-95. It is not going to be fun for the I-95 drive at rush hour here in Brevard County. This is going to be really slow go. Really, really slow go. Special weather statement continues here. Look, even back towards Lake Nona and Narcoossee, that's a lot of lightning still, right? I say I just have to do this to bring back on the lightning count. There we go. 270 just in that area. Okay, just taking a look at the winds. That's what we're doing here. My thought is 30-mile-an-hour winds for the most part with some higher gusts on the leading edge of all of this. Pockets of heavier. Holopal, easily 30 to 35 right now in some spots. And again, all these special weather statements go farther off towards the south. Let's go back over to reflectivity. You guys see the outflow boundary, right? Clear as day, this line in green. And what's happening is this outflow boundary is moving east, okay? And the storms are developing right behind the outflow boundary. I want you to notice how intense in a very short amount of time the storms over Harmony and Holopal have gotten. Right behind that outflow boundary. The outflow boundary is literally right here, and right behind it. That is a very nasty storm over Holopal right now. Potentially even some hail. Special weather statement is in effect. They're not talking about hail with this one, but could there be some pea-sized hail mixed in with all this very heavy rain and lightning? Absolutely. This is an extremely intense storm in just this view, guys. Basically, Harmony Holopal, it's 439 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. Pretty incredible indeed. And again, I love to interact with you guys. So if you want to do me a favor, drop in the comment section below where you're viewing from. Someone the last time I was on was watching from Virginia, which is kind of awesome, right? Wanted to tune in, see what was going on with the Central Florida weather. Yeehaw Junction, gonna be stormy again. Orlando will continue to see some light rain, kind of what's been left behind. Even a couple of, lightning strikes, even a rumble of thunder. But is it going to pick back up for Winter Springs and Orlando and Metro West? No. Will there still be some light rain over Lake Buena Vista? Yes. And again, if you're just tuning in, we do have, we're working on a network of cameras. And this is the first one to show you. This is just 1 mile from Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. Okay. So this is going to be a great shot to show you guys for the attractions area. And we're going to be building this network of cameras. It's something that we are, really are efforting in the short term, but just in the short term, this is one of our shots here from that area. Now, if you joined me right at the beginning, there's a pretty healthy storm that moved through this area. We picked it up on the camera. Things are much quieter now. But again, just one thing that'll be coming your way here to Central Florida Weather Live. We are going to be expanding our camera network to be able to bring you those live shots. Okay, back over to what's happening right now. And again, we are getting into the thick of it for Mims in Titusville, and Indian River City. Again, all those special weather statements are in play. Let's put this into motion. This is going to be just over the last half hour, but it'll give you an idea. And let me even just dump the watches and the warnings. Here you go. So that's the movement over the last half hour. Look at all that lightning. And the lightning count does continue to update in real time. So we've picked up about an additional 400 lightning strikes per 15 minutes in just the last 30 minutes. These storms have actually gotten more intense over the 4 o'clock hour. Far east Seminole, far east Orange, portions of north and kind of central and now eastern and northeastern sides of Osceola, and now beginning to slip into southwest sides of Volusia, and again on its way to a lot of Brevard County. A lot of lightning here, guys. It's going to be really, really bad driving across I-95. Those storms are prolific. Again, if you have an opportunity, while the hail potential looks to be coming down a bit, but just before these storms arrive, if you can get the car inside, make sure it's in the garage. If you have that chance, I'd do it. Look, once the wind hits you, you're not going to want to be outside. You don't want to be outside in any of this, but if you are ahead of the storms, and you have that opportunity, just to be on the safe side. Not right now anticipating a ton of hail, but we have had one severe thunderstorm warning with a hail size up to 1 inch. That could cause damage if we actually had 1-inch-size hail. Wedgefield was an area that really looked like did get at least some pea to penny sized hail. Linda, I don't see anything rotating. I'll keep an eye on it. Typically with this is a nice squall line, right? So I don't see anything there. I was looking down here, but you notice that these are all still very what we call linear in nature. And these storms towards Yeehaw Junction are actually building north. This could be very interesting here. That could fill in very quick. Again, the green lines, guys, the green line is our outflow boundaries of these storms. And they are progressing. They're getting closer to more populated areas here. So again, Brevard County over the next hour, yeah, these storms are going to be rocking. We're closer now to Rockledge and Cocoa and Sharps, Port St. John, Indian River City, Titusville, Mims. Let's put on the Gus as well. Thank you, Noble Pills. Yep, if you guys wouldn't mind, hitting that like button again helps out the channel a lot, and I appreciate y'all very, very much. If you haven't subscribed, it's a great way to help us out as well. Again, as we continue to expand here and bring you this live coverage as Central Florida Weather Live. So you notice that the lightning is still more intense west of where the initial rain is coming in. All right, we'll see how much of this propagates off towards the east. This particular view, we've lost a little bit of the lightning. That would be fantastic, but we've run out of time for this to fade before it gets into Mims and Titusville and Indian River City. We are on the brink. So here it comes. If you live in these areas and you look off to the west, that's going to be a really, really, really dark sky. But so far, Titusville is not reporting a wind gust. Let's see what their actual wind is here. It's not bad. It's only right now out of the south and east at 12. That'll pick up. Hasn't been hit yet. Temperatures, again, it was 95. Now it's down to 90. Port Canaveral, Cape Canaveral was, I think, 92 or 93. They're down to 88. So they're starting to see that cooler push of wind on the leading edge. Drop of temperatures a bit, starting to get some of the overcast skies there as well. Starting to get close to Port St. John, Sharps, and Cocoa. And again, really, really nasty storm right now. Far east side of St. Cloud, but it's moved far enough east where St. Cloud is okay. And again, Harmony and Holopole. Pretty darn nasty weather there at the hour. Let's go back live. And I'm going to reset this very briefly, so stick with me. Okay. And let's bring back on our watches and our special weather statements and our marine watch, special marine warning. But I really wanted to just get back into this storm here in Harmony and Holopole. That is a nasty one, man. That's a nasty, nasty storm. Let's see about the hail. Yeah. That was my concern. My concern was, now look, again, when you have this intense of a cell, the algorithm could be picking up on extremely heavy rain as well. But would I suspect that there is, again, pea to penny sized hail in Holopaw? Yes. I think it's a very high chance. This is an extremely intense storm. Again, the lightning count is outrageous. Right over Harmony. Excuse me, Holopaw. Don't see much in the way of any more. Again, if you see that right there, that was over Wedgefield earlier. The good news is, closer to Brevard County, there's not a lot of hail signature right now. Again, that radar just updated, so it even faded away a little bit more. That's good. We don't want that. It's still not great at all over Holopaw, maybe even more than an inch-sized hail. So now there's a possibility that over Holopaw, we're getting quarter-sized hail, and there could be some isolated damage to vehicles or to roofs. Again, there's not even a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? So obviously the Weather Service doesn't think that in general they're getting inch-sized hail, but you know, this is the Melbourne radar, and it is picking up 3/4 to even inch-plus size hail in some areas. So it's a possibility. Again, these storms continue to march off towards the east. For our friend Linda in the chat, they are momentarily heading your way. And again, Linda, you can pop on here live and let us know what you're hearing, what you're seeing. We appreciate that. Back over to the lightning count. Again, extremely, extremely intense. And if for some reason you're viewing and you do know anyone who might have been out enjoying the beaches of Brevard County or the boating in Brevard County, I hope they took a chance to look back off towards the west and saw what's heading their way. If not, give them a heads up, let them know. Special weather statement continues down here. And again, this outflow boundary is just going to continue to propagate storms off to the south. So this will eventually get into Indian River County as well. Still a few lightning strikes even up here. Even if I zoom in here, just take myself off camera real quick. We got 8 lightning strikes in an area that doesn't look like there's much, right? So don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder in Mount Dora or Asatula or Montverde or Claremont or Groveland or Oakland or Ocoee Winter Garden. Still a rumble of thunder possible. Still some wet weather. The roads are wet through Metro Orlando. And again, if I zoom this out, our friends in the Tampa area have enjoyed a much quieter day. So again, it's one of those things here at Central Florida Weather Live. You know I cover north to south, east to west. If I'm not mentioning your area, it means that you guys have been quiet, right? Always keep an eye on things. You can see up US 19, up 75 into Citrus County. Levy County, Marion's fine. Light rain for Lake County. A lot of light rain for Volusia County in general. So I-4 is just not going to be a lot of fun. It's just because it's wet. But is it going to be anything prolific? No. A couple of lightning strikes here and there. But again, way more intense now back into Brevard County. Just starting to get there. Again, that's that live shot from the Magic Kingdom area. All looking good there. All right. So this special weather statement on the northern side will go till 5:30. The one that's kind of in between is about ready to expire, and it actually does look like the intensity has come down just a little bit here. Might be a little bit congested. Again, special weather statements have nothing to do with the amount of lightning. It's still all about the wind and the hail size. All of that lightning, my goodness. What a storm over Harmony and Holopaw right now. They are getting belted. 50-mile-an-hour winds there. The next special weather statement goes south of Yeehaw Junction, including a lot of the Turnpike in southern Osceola County, and then even farther south from there. And all of this is working its way towards Brevard. Swing over to the gusts here. So far, nothing yet. Still showing a heat index of 100, so we haven't seen it yet come in, but now we're right on the edge. Here's the 405 into Titusville. 50 into the Indian River City area. I-95 starting to get wet. Following US 1 to MIMS. We're on the border, as they say. Special weather statement at least until 5:30, but if it holds together, they'll extend it east and extend it out in time. We've got a few more minutes before the weather goes downhill sharply in Merritt Island. Sharps, Cocoa, Rockledge, Vieira North, Vieira West, Suntree, Pineda, Vieira West. Oh, could have sworn I had Vieira West on here somewhere. Maybe not. I thought I did though. Maybe I have to get in really, really tight for it to pop up. Suntree, Palm Shores, our friends in O'Galley, Melbourne Village, West Melbourne, Melbourne, all the Melbournes, Palm Bay, Malabar, Grant Valkyria. And again, guys, I just want you guys to notice too that we do have street level mapping here at Central Florida Weather Live. So in a situation where we really needed to get street by street, we can. It's also a very good indication to see where our populated areas are, right? In this broad view, this area towards Palm Bay, obviously a lot of that is west of I-95. So it's a good reminder for me to know that it doesn't have to get to I-95 in Palm Bay and the Grant Valkyria area before it impacts a larger population. Typically speaking, it's along and east of I-95 through most of Brevard County. So here we go, just starting to get into MIMS and Titusville. Again, first of all, gusty winds, 30, 35 miles an hour, maybe even a little bit higher. The special weather statement is all the way up to 40. The potential still for some smaller hail, but I think this is going to be a 1, 2, 3 punch in this way. Gusty winds ahead of the rain. Then we're going to have some very heavy rain and some gusty winds, and then we're going to have all three. Gusty winds, heavy rain, and the core of the lightning coming through as well. Okay? If we can fade some of this lightning before it moves east, that's great news, but it is still going to be an extremely wet period here for the next hour in Brevard County. Here's Titusville, Indian River City, Port St. John, again, on the southeast side of that special weather statement. Linda says, got the distant thunder off of 50 right now. Thanks, Linda. And again, I hope you guys are doing well. Great to see you live here at 5:18 on this Tuesday afternoon. Again, one of the things that I can do here compared to others is we can jump on at any odd time. We can stay on for as long as we need to, right? This is the only thing that we do. This is a live only channel, meaning that I'm only on when the weather is pertinent, right? And so you know, if you're a subscriber here to Central Florida Weather Live and you have the notification on, which with this live only channel, I always recommend everyone have the all notifications on because you're not going to get hounded, right? You're not going to get hounded by us with videos and all these other things. You'll know when I'm live and you'll know that there's an opportunity and a reason for you to jump on, right? There's a reason for me to be on. There's a reason for you to tune in. If you live in Tampa today, things are just fine. You can go along with your business. If you live in Orlando and areas off to the east, this is one of those days that you might want to be keeping a close eye. And I appreciate those who are doing that right now. So again, in Brevard County, these storms moving off towards the east, MIMS, Titusville, Indian River City, those are still our feels like temperatures. I'll put on the wind gusts. Just sneaking over I-95 now in northern Brevard County. Still not there, Port St. John south. And this storm is just still going crazy over Harmony and Holopaw. Friends, look at this. This is 15 minutes. And there's nearly 700 lightning strikes. I mean, it's updating in real time for you guys too. That is an incredible storm. The amount of lightning that it has produced in a 15-minute time span. Nearly 700 lightning strikes. Almost by law of averages, right? There's got to be some power issues there. Anything above ground. Incredible. I hope our friends in Harmony and Holopaw are doing okay. As I mentioned earlier too, by the way, if I go to hail size, there could be some embedded hail with all of this as well. It's just a super intense storm. And again, that hail size could be approaching an inch in a couple of spots. I think Holopal got the worst of it for sure. But Harmony is still getting a ton of lightning too. Again, these are not the biggest areas, I understand that, but I cover everyone. That is not reflectivity. I'll leave it on velocity real quick. We say we take a look at the winds. And hopefully the winds have come down a bit. You see these brighter greens? That's just some really solid wind. It's nothing outrageous. Could it knock down a trash can? Absolutely. Anything that's unsecured outside? It's a possibility, right? And because we're so close to the Melbourne radar site, these are basically ground truth winds. You can almost take them at face value. If we were far away from the radar beam would be shooting higher into the atmosphere, so we would have to average down. But we're close enough here where 30 to 35 coming into Port St. John seems extremely reasonable, especially given the fact that the actual special weather statement is for winds of up to 40. Doesn't look as bad in Indian River City. So far in Titusville, okay. But again, still some pockets of stronger winds yet to come through. The brighter the green on the map is going to be your higher winds in general. And again, down towards Sharps. So now we're even closer to the radar. And this is going to be interesting. Now towards Sharps, we're picking up some 40-mile-an-hour winds right there. Again, leading edge is going to have some really gusty winds. Cranked over 40 there for a second. So Cocoa and Rockledge and Vieira, eventually Merritt Island, of course. There's our radar site. I mean, we are only a couple hundred feet up here right now, I'm telling you guys. So this is very much ground truth winds. So let's just say 30 to 35 in a lot of spots. And even left behind, you know, Executive Airport had a 35-mile-an-hour gust there in Orlando just the last hour. Okay, so again, at this point in time, we have several special weather statements. Looks like 3 of them, but they cover a big area. Orlando is looking better. Okay, not expecting there to be a re-energization. Probably not a word. That's fine. And not expecting these storms to re-energize as we get into the 5:30, 6 o'clock time frame. There'll be rain that will take a very long time to actually completely fade. There even could be a few lightning strikes, a rumble of thunder here and there. A wet drive for I-4 and the 408 in the western and the eastern beltways, the 429, the 417. But the intense storms are off to the east. And it is going to be a lot of Brevard County. Now, Volusia County, the rain is even a little bit heavier, but nothing outrageous for Ormond Beach and Holly Hill and Daytona and Port Orange and Wilbur by the Sea and Ponce Inlet, places like that. But it's still not going to be a fun drive for I-4 and I-95 there. And then the storms are just much more intense down here right now. So here we go. Our friend Linda in the chat, getting close. She says she's off of 50. So there you go. There's the Indian River area. There's 50. It's kind of just this whole area right here. And I don't expect there to be much of a difference in this spot. You notice that there's a little bit of a push right here. There could be a slightly stronger wind maximum here. We get that bow effect sometimes on these squall lines. It's not a extremely pronounced one. There could be a little bit more wind right through Titusville. And you see this goes all the way down towards Port St. John as well. So Merritt Island is going to get hit pretty good. Obviously the Cape is going to get hit pretty good. In all areas along I-95, especially west of the Indian River and Banana River areas. We'll see how they hold together for the coastal regions coming up. And again, special marine warning is in effect all the way until 7 o'clock. All right. Weather Service does a great job of getting the special marine warnings out in advance, well ahead of the actual storms, especially when they can see them lined up like this and coming in, because they want those boaters to get back into port and they want beachgoers to get back inside as well. But certainly the boaters in the exposed waters. Having grown up on the west coast of Florida and been out in some of these really intense storms from time to time, it's not a lot of fun. It is not a lot of fun at all. The lightning still in Osceola County is so outrageous. 665 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. That's pretty incredible. Excuse me one second, guys. Thank you. Just placed my order for another beverage. I'm down a bottle of water already. Okay, gang, we're coming up on 5:30. Let's reset the scene if you're just tuning in. I appreciate you. Again, these storms lining up right now on the eastern side of our area, really going to be impacting Brevard County, portions of Indian River County over the next probably 30 to 60 minutes. You can see all of the lightning here. We're talking about over 1,400 lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes, okay? We are fine on the western side here. And again, I wish that graphic would go away. I can, let's see what I want to dump here. Everything's good. I can promise you that. I don't want to bring anything on more, Rusty. It's just a message. Ignore it like I am. Marion County, Citrus County, Hernando County, Pasco County, we're just fine, okay? Still some light rain in Lake and Volusia, but the storms right now are most intense right here getting into portions of Brevard County. That's where they're going to be screaming in with some winds of 30 to 35 miles an hour, maybe some smaller sized hail, and certainly a lot of lightning. Now, it's been great to see that this lightning count has come down a little bit as well, right? We've seen that lightning. Oops, sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second. Let's reset it. Boy, touch just one little thing. The lightning count has come down a little bit on this northern side. That's good news for Mims and Titusville and Indian River City, okay? Now, the special weather statement only goes for the next minute, and we'll see how this plays out, but that's very heavy rain over I-95 right now. And Linda even says it's windy, it's raining. Again, Linda's going to get that gust coming in, 30, 35, maybe even slightly higher. The rain's going to pick up, and the lightning will pick up in accordance. But I'm happy to see that that lightning count has come down a little bit here in the northern side of Brevard County. It's still not the case as you go farther off towards the south, okay? Again, look at this lightning here. Still incredible, incredible lightning down in Osceola County. So quite honestly, it's going to be rough, and we're getting it first in Mims and Titusville in Indian River City. But it's going to be even more prolific if this holds together as we get into central and the southern sides of Brevard County. The lightning is so intense. We need to hope that a lot of this fades before it gets off to the east, because now we're at 650 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. And we can see the outflow boundary right here. And again, the storms, as that outflow boundary moves east, those storms are developing behind it. And you can see that they have already replaced this special weather statement with another special weather statement slightly farther east. Quite honestly, I'm surprised that this part of it's going to go away, because really some of the most intense lightning, and again, special weather statements don't have anything to do with lightning, but some of the most intense weather is just north of Harmony right now. But Holopau's still under that. Look at that leading edge, guys, right there on 192. Super, super heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning as well. So special weather statement for the next 30 minutes there. Got my new beverage order in. We switched to Gatorade. I like water, but just too much at one time. Gatorade Zero, by the way. Some people don't like the taste, but I enjoy it. I don't mind like sugar-free stuff. Have enough sugar anyway. Sugar's kind of my Achilles heel. I don't know about you guys. But again, this lightning is just rough. Harmony and Holopole. Let's put this into motion. As a matter of fact, let me bring on our composite radar. And let's loop this over the last 2 hours if you're just tuning in. So this is going to give you a good idea where all these storms are. And we can see the progression off towards the east, right? So the old outflow boundaries from yesterday kicked up the storms. They've now propagated off towards the east. We'll see if they, excuse me, make the entire coastline. It's going to be close, I think. It is 5:30. We've obviously peaked at the heat of the day, but these storms produce their own environments, their own atmospheres, and they're still getting going. What is as of note, though, if I leave this shot up, okay, we can look at the lightning count in this area, not moving the view over the last 2 hours. We peaked about 45 minutes ago with a lightning count of over 800 lightning strikes. We're now down to less than 100. That is a sign, obviously, that we're losing a bit of the intensity with these storms. That's one reason why, right? It's one reason why we lost the severe thunderstorm warning here in this area, okay? The lightning count is still as high or even higher than what it's been when you get south of the beach line, especially now deeper into Osceola County, okay? Look at all that lightning across 192. So this is kind of taken over farther off towards the south. And again, as the storms move east with the outflow boundaries, they propagate off towards the south, and additional special weather statements have been issued here. But again, looking at the lightning count in this area, that hasn't gone away. So we're losing a bit of the intensity on the northern side of this line, but the storms are still certainly intense down in Osceola County at the hour. And again, trying to sneak into Brevard. Let's see here. Okay. Just going to go back here, check a couple things. So again, the good news is for Linda and those who are in the northern side of Brevard County, they did let the special weather statement expire, okay? So as I've mentioned, the intensity of this cell is coming down. Still going to be some gusty winds, still going to be some heavier rain. The lightning has really faded in the snap of a finger. And that's great news because that storm was really intense. But still, I-95, going to be wet. Mims, Titusville, Indian River City, but not severe, okay? And the lightning count again going down. Then there's a little bit of a break in the action right here, right? A bit of a break in the action over the beach line. And then when we get south of there in Osceola County, I know this is really rural spots right now, but the lightning is still absolutely gangbusters. And here comes that outflow boundary. The outflow boundary actually is kind of even sneaking into Vieira and Merritt Island. So it's not going to surprise me if in short order, Sharps, Rockledge, Vieira, we start to pick up the cell here moving in relatively fast. More than likely it's going to pick up in a hurry. We're going to get this to move in pretty quickly, and that should fill in that area. Again, how strong is it going to be? I believe it's going to be below severe thunderstorm criteria, but all this is moving off towards the east. Bring back on the storm cell tracking here. So again, a lot of different things I can do with my weather computer. We can look at particular individual cells embedded within this. Bit of a propagation east, but Port St. John obviously getting some pretty intense weather as well. It'll start to pick up. And then we just got to see if this holds together. Because if it does, this is what we're really talking about. I mean, again, right over Holopole. You notice how basically the radar's like, this is not moving, and it hasn't. 1 mile an hour speed, that's basically stationary. Hail probability, 100%. Holopole got some hail today. Maybe even up to quarter-sized hail. The lightning is ridiculous. Western sides of Orange County know what I'm talking about from yesterday. Same kind of thing here. Linda says it's here. Linda, again, I just kind of went over it, so hopefully you understood that it's going to be intense there, but it's becoming less, which is great news for you, right? Pretty good storm, but the lightning's coming down, even the wind threat's coming down. So all the threats are lowering in the far northern side of Brevard County. Still will want to be driving in it. Still not going to be fun for the drive. But I got to say, again, I'm very curious as to how this might hold together as it gets closer to Brevard County, and if it even moves. The other thing about this is that this part of the cell, let's loop this up over the last half hour, it's just barely moving, man. Like, it's just not really doing anything. They've slightly shifted the special weather statement, but my goodness. Look at all that there. Harmony, Holopole, south and east, Yeehaw Junction. It's a nasty storm, man. I hope my friends in Brevard County don't get it. Our friends in Harmony and Holopole certainly are. You can almost see this triangle. That's going to be the hail signature right over Holopole. And you notice that it hasn't basically moved. I mean, it might have shifted east a bit. There's a bit of propagation east. And again, the only reason why that this is developing east is because of the outflow boundary. As the outflow boundary moves east, it's going to allow these storms to propagate east. But the biggest question is just how long they hold together. Now that we're past the peak heat of the day, you know, is there an opportunity to continue to see these storms stay on the stronger side? Linda's happy. I don't blame her one bit. Good storm for you, Linda. Certainly a good storm. What's going to be interesting is that obviously as these storms are dying out in the northern side of Brevard and southern Volusia counties, this could be the next outflow boundaries for tomorrow's storms, right? If the outflows weren't able to push all the way off the shoreline, could that be another lead, if you will, for additional storms to fire up? Certainly a possibility. Titusville, Indian River City, Port St. John, Sharps, Cocoa, all good, healthy rain. Notice the lightning strikes are 15-ish, nothing outrageous. Certainly we've lost the intensity here as they've moved into northern Brevard. This is holding up quite vigorously right now. Harmony, Holopole, 192. There's your outflow boundary right now trying to work its way towards Melbourne. Special marine warning is still in effect until 7 o'clock. But we're looking better for places like Merritt Island, Cocoa, Sharps, Rockledge, the Cape. Those areas are going to get some rain, some gusty winds, but nothing I think they can't handle. Obviously, the lightning is a big issue because power outages, other things like that. Again, the drive is not going to be fantastic, but I'm not too concerned about any real high-end potential now that far north. Anywhere, though, just about south of there could still be a problem. So we'll have to monitor that for you. Again, back out to the broad view. If we look out to the west, we are high and dry today for Hillsborough and Pinellas, and Pasco and Hernando and Citrus and Levy and Marion and Sumter counties are fine. Still some light rain, and I mentioned this. It's going to take a while for all of this light overshooting rain from the storms today, just like a lot of areas as they kind of blossom and mushroom out. So a lot of lake and even portions of Orange County, well away from the most prolific storms, continue to have some light rain. Don't see, if I zoom into this spot here, okay, no more lightning strikes. So we've even lost that. There's a few rumbles of thunder here and there. You're welcome, Linda. I appreciate you. A little bit of rain up towards Flagler County. Still had a couple lightning strikes over Ormond Beach and Holly Hill and Daytona. Hopefully those folks have gotten back inside from the beaches because there's some rain here. There's nothing significant, but there's even a few embedded lightning strikes. Port Orange, Ponce Inlet. And then again, back here, Mims, Titusville, Indian River City, we're looking pretty good. Same thing for Sharps and Cocoa. So we're left with this one special weather statement. I don't, again, is this storm going to hold together as it gets farther east? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, friends, here's what I think I'm going to do. I am going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to keep an eye on this storm. If this storm can hold together and produces some very active weather as we get back into Brevard County, I'll jump back on and cover that live for you. So I'm going to keep a close eye on that. There's two things. One, this may never make it into Brevard County. And two, if it does, it might take some time. All right. And considering now that's the only special weather statement that we have, the weather has quieted down a bit. But if you live in the northern side of Brevard, still going to have some healthy rain and wind. From central and the southern sides, be keeping an eye on this, and you can see the outflow boundary associated with it. So again, just going to take a break. If I need to jump back on, I will. As I leave, again, thank you very much to do me the quick favor of liking this video, this live stream. And if you have not become a subscriber yet to Central Florida Weather Live and you want these updates, I certainly appreciate that. Friends, again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you very much. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday if I don't see you back, but if it becomes necessary, I'll be back here later today at Central Florida Weather Live. You guys have a great one. Thanks for watching.